So, sometimes, I don't know if it's the fact that, and it's okay, people don't know that much about cameras, or if it's just general human stupidity, that they're not able to discern things. Let's take the old statement, the right tool for the right job, right? Whatever activity it is, there is a specialized tool for that. Let's just take like a fly swatter, for example. It is a light rubbery material used for swatting flies. You know, you could like swat them on the window and not break your window. A hammer, for example, will also swat flies. The only problem is the inefficiency, the high frustration, the high failure rate of swatting flies with a metal nail hammer. Low success rate. I made the comment yesterday, and people were. There's several people, and Fujifilm is partly responsible for this, for showing street photographers out using the GFX. Which, by the way, the continuous on the front of the, and I love the GFX. I'm not actually deriding it. The continuous slot for continuous autofocus is basically pretty useless. It's about 90% useless. Under any lighting circumstances, it's pretty damn useless. So what? Anybody that knows medium format cameras does not give a damn about that. So people say, well, why isn't the GFX any good for? Well, it's about the photographer. It's not about the camera. Well, that's only very partially true, but it is mostly inaccurate. Of course, there's that test, remember, where Kai gives these professional photographers these little horrific crap cameras, okay? And they sometimes they pull off some really interesting results, really not anything stunning. Nothing that you would sell to anybody, right? It's like, wow, that's really artistic, that's really nice. And so they get really creative with these, like, $10 digital crap cameras. Remember back Digital Rev used to do that. See, the problem with that is that there's no working professional who would do that. High frustration, low success rate. Yeah. There's a special tool for everything. The GFX is neither a travel camera nor is it a street camera. Right tool for I don't know what people don't get about that. I mean, you could perform surgery technically with a pair of paper scissors, like they have in grade school. The plastic orange handle on. Yeah, you could technically do that, but there's nobody that would do that, right? You'd use a really high precision German, was it Solingen precision scissors that have been sterilized also, by the way. You'll say, well, what about, and I had Yashica 124 Matte G's, 124G Matte, right, 124 Matte G, right. Well, it's been a long time since I had that. I have owned 2 or 3 of those cameras. I sold a lot of them. I mean, it's manual focus, obviously. It's slow, methodical. I even had a Rolei once. I had a Rolei for a short period of time. I wish I still had my Rolei. It cost me as much then as one costs now. The price really hasn't changed from 20 years ago. Slow. And you could say, well, Vivian Mayer, she used that for street photography. And the answer is, you're right. But if she had the ability, and she did like the waist level viewfinder, it actually gave her a bit of discretion. She didn't have this, people didn't know that she was pointing a camera at them. So that's another matter. That is about stealth. So, but if you had a waist level, and one does exist, well, I mean, the GFX actually has the tilt adapter for the viewfinder, which lets you actually look directly down into the camera like a rangefinder camera, except you have to get your eye a lot closer. What do people not understand about the right tool for the right job? Like the X100F, which is a digital rangefinder camera. You know what the Fujifilm X100F is? Technically, you could do sports photography with that. You couldn't, it's a fixed focal, fixed focus 23mm. You can't, you can't reach out there and touch something like you can with a 300mm. But it's extremely inefficient, high frustration, and low success rate. That's the point. The point about, talking about these cameras is making the discernment of what is specialized for that. Like the Nikon D500 is basically being called the birding camera. I told people that. I was the first person to review it. I said, people are going to love this camera are bird photographers and sports action people. And of course, most of the people buying that are using it for that. I have not heard many people, not that you can't do that with it, that have any way idealized that camera for portraiture or for landscape use, because that's not what you would want. You can use it, but with high frustration, inefficiency, and a lower success rate. So people need to cut the crap about, well, it's all about the photographer, not the camera. That goes without saying. But that doesn't mean if someone has a brain and they're like a highly specialized landscape photographer that they're going to go, oh, you know, I'm a world famous landscape photographer. I decided to try out the XT2 and these. No, you're not. No, you're not. There's some stunning results of landscape that have come out of the XT2 and the X Pro 2. But that is not the right tool for the right job. Only thing that matters are the results, right? Well, a broken clock is right twice a day. So it's like, well, this is people don't get this. They don't have discerning minds, which is basically a very fancy way of saying people are stupid. There's some internationally famous landscape photos that have came out of the XT2. You know, all hail to Fuji for that one. But that doesn't mean anything. That's the exception, not the general rule. It means you could do it, but it's not ideal. What the hell do people not understand about the right tool for the right job? You know? What is it that people don't understand about that? These are the same people that were complaining about the Fuji, which is true. It's not good, not ideal for, it's kind of somewhat crappy for street photography, okay? You know, you don't hear somebody with $1 million Lamborghini bitching about the fact that it's no damn good for hauling wood out on the muddy farm, right? No? Did you ever hear like Billy Bob's like, yeah, I bought me a Porsche Carrera, but that goddamn thing is no good for hauling wood. And by God, you know, when it gets muddy, man, that's what a Ford pickup truck is for, yeah? A tractor. It's like, well, that's an expensive. Anybody making that analogy comparison to GFX for street photography is the exact same as a retard that is bitching about his Lamborghini being no good for hauling wood on the farm. It's either a combination of simplex human stupidity or a lack of familiarity with the discernment, which maybe is another level of intellectual prowess that people need to understand that it's the right tool for the right job. And you know, you should have been told that growing up. You know, somebody should have. If school didn't, school's useless. Nobody learns anything at school. They learn things from their parents and their peers, and by their own interest in bettering their own comprehension of the world. So, there's my spiel on that one. Right tool for the right job. What do people not the hell get? If you like these videos, you could always make a kind, small donation. Tell me to jump off a cliff or whatever makes you happy. Bye. Ba-dum-bum, 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 ba-dum-bum.